August has arrived, and we begin looking at the fall athletics season at North Central College. This is an athletics edition of 1861, the North Central College podcast. Our guest is Mahesh Narayanan, the head women's cross-country coach at North Central College. Mahesh, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
It's exciting to think that we are indeed in August, and we can look ahead with much anticipation for the competition season. But how has the off-season prep been for the Cardinals?
So far, as we know that in this setup, the students are on their own, but I've been getting some really positive feedback. It's been pretty exciting to get some new youngins, new freshmen to come in to complement the group we already have. The other part is our coaching staff has done a lot this summer too. So not only the plans for their students to be doing their off-season work, that we as a staff are doing our off-season work. So when we're ready to meet in about 2 weeks, we should feel like we got a good framework for our students to enter and really get ourselves set up for this upcoming fall. Certainly,
you're looking ahead to the fall, and you might have some goals, objectives, some targets in mind. Our fans want to know what you think about the upcoming season. What's the outlook?
As always, and this is my 27th fall. Our conference is tough. We have a lot of parity across several teams, which is I would say we're probably one of the competitive conferences around. But really, we always want to be thinking, how do we get to that top end, upper end of that conference? At least be in the fight, whether it's a young group or seasoned group. And so, we will set ourselves up, use every race along the way, really to continue to get ourselves in a position. So when October 31st and beyond is in front of us, we're ready to go. So we'll take some lumps along the way. A lot of it's going to be learning. A lot of it's going to be, and part of that formula is learning. They have to work together. We have to work together as a coaching staff, and the students have to work together as a team. The team that's put together and healthy and happy at the end is going to be the one that's going to be the more fruitful. And honestly, our neighbors up the road, Wheaton College, has had a stranglehold on a conference the last few years. So we certainly want to give them a good run, and of course, a win's is always a plus too. But in realistic terms, we want to be able to get in the fight, looking not only for this year but even beyond. So there's a short term and a long term push on this and our expectations right now.
Mahesh, give our fans a sense of the schedule, because obviously you use the word formula. It's an interesting word. There's a formula that might even go into putting together a schedule to prepare your student athletes for the conference and postseason competition. So talk to us a little bit about your schedule.
So the schedule itself ebbs and flows a little bit. We have some meets that have some difficulty. We have some meets where we should have some attainable goals. And part of it is how we pace ourselves and how we use it. So every time we get on the start line, it should be a learning experience, meaning we have to be able to walk away with something tangible, whether it's learning how to do a race strategy, or learning how to gel as a group, or learning that the strategy has to be fine-tuned. But we proclaim that as a student on our team, you're part of a racing team. So racing is priority, and so we want to continue to find ways to keep that competitive side going, but also knowing that we still have to build the team. We still have to have a strategic approach to how we do this, meaning that the season doesn't end at the end of September. We have to make the haul all the way to the end of November to Thanksgiving. So that's really, again, that's part of the temperament, and that's part of how we set the schedule up, that we have the ability to walk away from races knowing that we can do more the following week or the week after.
So when you think about the conference meet, what's your mindset? It's August, so you're at least starting to think about that. What do you think about the conference meet? How do you prepare the team for that? And what are your expectations?
Well, we have to work on our knowns. We don't know what the other 8 teams are going to come up with. Historically speaking, there's going to be at least one or two strong teams, but there's a lot of good individuals. So with that said, we'll work on what we need to work on. There's a couple of constants that, again, staying healthy, which is pretty much every sport, but two, really staying focused and keeping it together. And so part of what we want to be thinking about is, how do we set ourselves up knowing that we want to make a good drive in the second half of the season? We always talk about, you can fake September, but it's the teams that are prepared and excited and motivated and healthy that can make the drive through late October into November. And so I wouldn't say we're not necessarily pinpointing a team, we're not necessarily pinpointing a individual, but I think as a group, we can look as a collective, how do we go get to that front end of the conference? And so we'll need every race, because we'll get some reads through the year of what some of these teams will look like. So that'll, with the information we have there, that can help us continue to shape our training, continue to shape our mindset getting ready for conference. So to answer your question, we have a lot of unknowns.
Sure. Yeah, that's okay.
But that's okay. So again, it's the wild card really is, well, two wild cards. One, how we present ourselves day one, and what the other teams how they present themselves when we see them.
I would imagine that the student athletes are starting to get anxious, much the way you are. Are you sensing that enthusiasm and eagerness to get here, to meet, to get going?
I will account for me. Yes. We'll see, absolutely. Because this is the best time. And I think when the students get here, there'll always be a little nervous energy. Again, you're talking about the unknown. But I think, as it's shown in the past, once everyone gets boots on campus and they see each other, some of that tension will just evaporate, and really let's just get to work. So the good thing is we have seven seniors, so it's not like we're completely green. So I think with the balance of our 7 seniors, we have 5 sophomores and 8 freshmen. So our composition should lend itself where we have some knowledge, no knowledge, and some medium level of knowledge. So I think as a group we can come together and hopefully temper some of that nervousness and some of that negative anxiousness away. So
well, senior leadership is a big deal at this level, isn't it?
It is, and honestly, from a probably overarching pieces, when you got women that are committing to a sport their 4th year on a college campus in women's athletics is a pretty big deal. So there's something going on that they're still excited to come back their 7th, 8th semester with our program. So
yeah. Well, Mahesh, thank you so much for your time. I wish you, your coaching staff, your student athletes, the best wishes. We'll, of course, be following your progress throughout the fall. But thank you so much for your time, for giving our Cardinal fans a glimpse into what they might be able to expect for the fall. Thank you.
Absolutely. You're welcome, and thank you for the time.
This is an athletics edition of 1861, the North Central College podcast. A preview, if you will, of the women's cross-country season for fall 2026. Our guest, Mahesh Narayanan, the head women's cross-country coach. We thank you once again, Mahesh. And thank you all for listening, and go Cardinals. With the fall athletics season fast approaching, we continue our conversations with fall coaches at North Central College. On this episode of 1861, the North Central College podcast, we welcome Matt Sinnott, head men's cross-country coach at North Central College. Matt, welcome.
Thank you, Jim.
So this time of year, do you start to get the itch? Are you getting excited and eager to get going?
Oh, I'm very excited. It's been a good summer, and I've been recharging, not only myself, but the guys. And so, yes, we're all very much itching to get together here very soon and start everything up.
What does the off-season prep look like? What are your expectations, and how have the guys responded to that?
Well, off-season prep is super important for distance running. It's laying the foundation for the months ahead. It's on, you can't build a house on no foundation, and so all the workouts that we do in the season really depend on how well they come in prepared. And so, since I'm not seeing what they do, I only kind of hear about it or see what they post in logs and things like that. But what I hear is that they're running very well. They're getting their 60, 70, 80, 90, or even 100 miles a week. And so they're laying a very strong foundation so that when they get here, we're ready to do some good workouts and be set to go.
What are the goals? What are the objectives for the year?
It's always a good question. I mean, they're very motivated. Obviously this program has a rich history and tradition of being in the hunt and being a podium level team. And in all honesty, on this side of COVID, we've only been on the podium one time. And that is something that these guys take very seriously, and they really want to put their own stamp on that legacy and put us right back up into that mix. They know that an outcome is never guaranteed, and so being a podium level team though is something that we can certainly be striving for. Last year's 10th place finish was something that's not something that anybody's satisfied for, including myself, and so we're trying to take the right steps to get back up there. And I think as far as expectations go, I expect us to be at the national meet. I expect us to do better than that, but it's really hard to play the guessing game of where we're going to be. Are we going to be top 4? Are we going to be top 7 team? Are we going to be top 10 team? I really don't know. But I know that this team is very much prepared to be where they see themselves being. They're bought into the process. They're bought into the philosophy, and they have the confidence that they're doing the right things to move in the direction they want to go.
I appreciate your analogy about building the foundation. In some ways, the regular season schedule helps to prepare for that. Prepare for the postseason. Talk a little bit about your regular season schedule.
Well, I kind of always seem to be running 2 schedules. I have a developmental schedule where I'm focusing on the guys that are not at the elite level yet, usually freshmen and a mix of upperclassmen that are kind of taking the right steps to become an elite runner and learn how to run our 4 parts of the race, how to do north central strategies, how to just kind of put all of the pieces together, and we don't have to travel super far or compete against Division I teams to do that. You know, a lot of teams in our region are perfect meets for that. You know, we go to the Augustana meets, we go to the Wheaton meets, we go all over the place for these kinds of competitions, and they do a great justice for a bulk of our team. The elite schedule that I'm also running is trying to prepare the national level guys for the national meet, and those meets that we select are usually from a lot of discussion with some of the upperclassmen, some of the returning national level guys, obviously a lot of the staff, and we don't always have the same schedule year to year. There's meets that we love to get good feedback on, like this Louisville Classic, first week of October. It was the site of 3 or 4 national meets for Division III, and I don't think it's going back there anytime soon, but we've found that to be such a great meet for us. That we can look back and kind of measure ourselves against our own history and see where we are in terms of a milestone. And so that seems to be one that we value a lot. This year, that meet fell on the same weekend as the pre-national meet. And through a lot of discussion and finally a final decision, we decided, hey, we're going to go back to Louisville rather than going to see the pre-national competition. And so we're valuing getting Division I and Division II level competition against our guys versus competing on the national course. So it's things like that. We're going to go to Indiana State 2 weeks before then for the same reason. We're going to get some high level competition with our guys versus seeing Division III teams.
Yeah, that's very helpful. Thank you, Matt. I'm sure that fans will appreciate hearing some color commentary around the schedule. The Cardinals, of course, you're the defending CCIW champions. That's become a tradition with men's cross country. What do you expect at the conference meet?
You know, conference is growing. I know that the other teams in the conference are doing their recruiting. They're pulling in some good folks. I've talked with some of the other coaches, and they kind of hinted that they got some good studs coming in, and so it makes it very exciting to know that our conference is you know getting or staying competitive. And we have a history of having won that meet so many times. I think it's the longest streak in any sport in any division right now, and that's very exciting to be a part of. I know streaks don't last forever, and I certainly don't want it to end on my watch, but
right.
You know, it's still something we don't take for granted. You know, we don't walk into conference and just thinking, all right, that they're going to get the trophy. Like we still got a job to do, and more importantly, we go into that particular meet with it as a stepping stone to the national meet. You know, we're going in there trying to run and still trying to put together the national race that we want to see 3 weeks later. So we have a focus. We have a reason for doing it beyond just, you know, going and trying to win the meet. We're trying to build that race that we want to see 3 weeks later. So, but it's becoming more competitive again. It's very exciting to be a part of that.
In so many ways, all of Division III cross country has gotten more competitive, hasn't it?
Extremely, yes. It is not the same as it was even when I was running a million
Right.
years ago. Yeah.
Well, Matt, look, I very much appreciate your time. Maybe one last chance for you. Any final comments as you look ahead to the season? I know that the guys will be coming to campus here in the very near future, but final thoughts as you prepare for the fall season 2026.
It wouldn't be a season without bringing up Al. Al's still very much present, even though he passed away last September. He's still very much present with us. We as a team, we're kind of finishing up his book together. We've kind of taken a chapter a week and been reading it together and meeting in the summer and on a Zoom call and just talking about it. And our alumni picnic is this Saturday, and so that usually fell right around the time of his birthday. So we're making sure that Al and of course Grammy are still very much a big part of what we think about going forward. So that's the last thing I'll say about that.
Always part of the family. Appreciate that, Matt. Best wishes to you, your coaching staff, your runners. Certainly look forward to watching your successes this fall. Wish you the best, and as always, go Cardinals.
Thank you very much.
Our guest on 1861, the North Central College podcast, Matt Sinnott, head coach, men's cross country, North Central College. We thank our listeners and viewers for consuming all of this, and once again, go Cardinals. On this athletics edition of 1861, the North Central College podcast, we say hello to Enzo Fuschino, who is the head soccer coach at North Central College, head men's soccer coach. Enzo, welcome to 1861, the North Central College podcast.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Are you excited? This is the time of year. I've been asking every coach. Are you excited?
Yeah. I just been waiting 9 months, 9 long months for this. So yeah, I couldn't be more excited.
Are the players excited?
Yeah. I've been communicating with some of them, and they're all working hard from what I understand, and they just can't wait for the season to start.
So I know that you're in a period where you don't have regular contact with the players, but it sounds like you have some sense that they're working hard, they're preparing. What does the off season look like for your players?
Well, when they leave school in April, in May, we tell them what they have to do, and we got a very dedicated group of kids, and they know they have to stay fit, they have to keep the lifting, and they have to play as much as possible. So, and I know they've been playing, some of them in more than one team. Sometimes I tell them to slow down and avoid any injuries.
Young athletes like to go, don't they?
Yep, invincible.
So you open the season on September 1st at IIT. What will happen between now and then?
Well, we welcome our kids in on the 16th of August. That's when they move in, and then the 17th is what they say is the most boring day of the year, with a bunch of compliance meetings and stuff. But then the 18th is when we start, and from the 18th until the 24th, when classes start, we go 3 practices a day, and trying to get as much in as possible. And actually, this year on the 19th, which is the day after they report, we got a scrimmage right away against a Division II school. So there will be a great test, to tell us where we're at right away.
What are the goals and expectations for the upcoming season?
Well, since I've been here, and I would say since after the pandemic in 2021, we set the bar pretty high. We won the conference every year except for one for my first year and last year. So 4 out of 6 years, either regular season or tournament. We made the NCAA tournament 4 times. So I would say anything less than a conference championship or NCAA bid, it's not good enough.
So when you look at the regular season schedule, what are some of the dates that maybe you have circled, and what's your overall assessment of the schedule?
Well, this year we have a very competitive schedule. Lots of NCAA teams from last year. But I would say, always your first conference game. And this year is against Illinois Wesleyan that beat us in the same ice last year. So they're coming here, and I know the kids and the coaches have circled that game.
Everybody's ready.
I hope so.
Wow. So when you think about so obviously we want to win a conference championship. Where's the competition going to come from in the conference?
Oh, the men's CCIW, it's strong top to bottom. Every game is a battle. Anybody can beat anybody. So, you got the usual suspects: North Park, Wheaton, of course, Illinois Wesleyan, team that won the tournament last year. But, every team in this conference can surprise anybody. So the kids have to be ready for any game.
Think about your roster. What's the makeup of the roster? Do you think you have the kind of team to compete for the conference championship?
I believe we do. I'm always very. I call myself cautiously optimistic. Keep my feet on the ground, and on paper, and we have a very strong team. We got all the kids basically returning from last year's team, except for one that graduated, our center back. We have all conference players, all region, all Americans. They're all back. Last year we played every game with 8 to 9 freshmen, so we had some growing pains. This year we have no excuses. Those guys have a year of experience on their belt. They're all back. They're all motivated. So again, on paper, we should be doing pretty good. But as my old coach used to say, we don't play on paper. We play on turf. We gotta see what happens. We gotta perform and show what we can do.
Well, I certainly wish you well, you and the coaching staff and the student athletes. Any final thoughts, Enzo, as you enjoy your last few days here before the season starts?
Yeah. I'm hoping we get good crowds at our games. I think we have a lot of exciting games coming up. Our schedule is a little weird this year. We'll be away for most of the, our preseason games are away, and our first 3 games are away. But then on September 9th, that's when we finally come home and play against Beloit College. So we're hoping to get a good crowd then and display a fun and exciting way of playing soccer.
Well, I think that's a great invitation to the fans listening out there. It's a beautiful venue. It's a great place to watch a soccer match. There's nothing quite like an evening at Benedetti Worley Stadium.
No, there isn't. Yeah,
certainly invite everybody to come out and support.
And of course, we'd like to see a big, huge crowd for our first conference against Illinois Wesleyan. There'll be a big one. Set the tone right away.
Let's set the tone with a little bit of noise. Well, and hopefully some folks have learned a few things after such an exciting World Cup this summer. Maybe that will put an extra little spark into things, right, Enzo?
Not too exciting for me, but it's okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. Enzo Fuschino, the head men's soccer coach, North Central College. Enzo, very much appreciate your time. Wish you well. Look forward to seeing you out on the pitch this
Thank you
fall.
Very much. I appreciate you having me on, and have a great day.
Go Cardinals.
Go Cardinals.
On this athletics edition of 1861, the North Central College podcast, we say hello to the head women's soccer coach at North Central, Andrew Gamarra. Andrew, welcome.
Morning, Jim. Thank you for having me.
So I've asked every coach so far. This has to be the time of year when you start to get excited, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're a few weeks out. The kids have been putting in the work over the summer, and we're looking forward to it. It's going to be here before we know it.
So talk about the off-season prep. What are the players doing in the off-season? What are the expectations?
Typically, the kids get a packet that's going to prepare them for preseason, and then a lot of them are playing in the summer. So a lot of it is accountability and just seeing how they're going to prep themselves to be ready for the fall. We put a lot of autonomy into their hands and an opportunity for them to connect with their teammates and for us to unplug from them for a bit because obviously we want the kids to be working together to be ready for the fall.
So the first game is on September 1st. It's a home game against IIT. What happens between now and that first match?
Well, the kids will check in for preseason August 16th, so that's coming soon. And then from there, we get into our routine of trainings and opportunities to be ready for the first game. We have a couple of scrimmages that are lined up where we play MSOE, Benedictine, and those will be good measures to see where the team is at in preparation for our first game. But we're away from the days of doing 2-a-days. I think there was that old school model that you need to practice and train as much as you can. We really focus on recovery as much as we can. We focus on team bonding, chemistry, film. They're lifting throughout the time. So there's just a lot of other metrics that we're trying to use throughout preseason versus just trying to get as much touches on the ball.
You have a lot of home games early in the schedule this year, but what are you looking at overall for the schedule? Give me your assessment of the schedule, regular season.
Yeah, I'm excited. Last year we were road warriors. We had a lot of away games, so the transition now going to play at home is nice on our end, and we've been really fortunate to be dominant at home the last 3 or 4 years. So now preparing for each team at home is it's a nice advantage for us. But the first 3 to 4 games, I mean, we're playing 3 top 25 teams. Illinois Tech is receiving votes. We played Calvin and Carleton that respectively made the round of 32 and the Elite 8. So we have our hands full, but I think the girls are up for the challenge, and that really the scheduling that we do is in preparation to get us to conference and to say that we played the best competition, that we're not going to be caught off guard by something we haven't seen before, and it's going to help us to hopefully be ready for the national tournament.
Well, speaking of the national tournament, it was by all accounts an extraordinary season in 2025. What are the goals and expectations for 2026?
I think at this point we're trying to build off what we did the previous season, and everything's kind of been ascending the last few years, and we'd like to keep that momentum. We've been blessed to be in an area where we've been to follow some great coaches, from the late Al Carrias to Jeff Thorne and what they built with those programs through cross country and football. And now as their traditions have carried on with Brad and Matt, we've just kind of watched and taken notes and have trying to put the women's soccer program in that echelon as well. So our goal is to win a national championship every year. That's where we're at now. And so, it's our job through December to August from a recruiting standpoint to put this in that position. So we're excited for the pieces that are coming in, but our goal is to hopefully make a deep run this November, December.
Yeah, and of course, Andrew, it starts with the conference, and you had an extraordinary conference season last year, winning the regular season championship and the tournament championship. Where will the competition come from this year in the CCIW?
I think any given day, each opponent is different, and they play for you different. So we know that the competition is stiff through the CCIW, and we have to not take anybody lightly because it just takes one off day for something to go wrong. But our girls have been resilient the last few years. I think that's what's that has kept us towards the top of the league. They had a lot of grit throughout the seasons, but again, it comes back, I think, to the non-conference part of the year where we put ourselves in a great position to not have any surprises. So the league's going to be good this year. North Park is going to be strong in Illinois Wesleyan. Elmhurst is building something good over there. So it'll be challenging, but I think the girls are ready for the test.
Andrew, any final thoughts as you gear up? The last few days here before the kids are back. Any final thoughts as you look forward to 2026?
No, we got some special players coming back. I think from Jordan Lang is an All-American that will be returning with Gamarra Matteo up top. So there's a lot of great pieces that we have coming back. Lily Madison in goal. So we have a solid core. Obviously, we're graduating a couple of pieces with Cass Alviola and Yas Martinez and Brooke Nelson, who were mainstays for us last year. But we have some new pieces that are coming in, and that's always the test, is how to make everything work and have it come together. But our staff's excited. I think the girls are going to be in good form soon, and we'll see the first few games where we're at.
Well, I would imagine that the kids have to be really excited coming off of last year. They've got to be really laser focused on the fall.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the momentum we're carrying.
Andrew, thank you so much for your time. I know you're busy and appreciate it. Let's put a plug in. Hope that we can get a lot of Cardinal fans out to Benedetti Worley Stadium, especially early in the season with early home games, and then of course for the conference. Would love to see a big crowd to support the Cardinals.
Thank you, Jim. Can't wait for your announcement. Can't wait for it.
I will be there. I promise. I'll be there as many as I can for sure.
Sounds good.
Andrew Gamarra, the head women's soccer coach at North Central, our guest on this athletics edition of 1861, the North Central College podcast. Andrew, thank you, and go Cardinals.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome to an athletics edition of 1861, the North Central College podcast. We're going to spend some time this afternoon talking with Rachel Gray, head golf coach, North Central College. Rachel, welcome.
Hi, Jim. Thank you so much.
It's so good to see you. Good to have you on, and good to talk about the women's golf season. We'll focus there since that's the conference will be decided for the women this fall. So we'll focus on the women's golf season. But tell me, since the semester ended, since the school year ended, what's the prep look like for your golfers? Are they excited to get back after it here this fall?
Yeah, I think everyone is really excited to come back and have a little preseason and get underway in our fall season. Off-season prep has looked like, from my point of view, I always joke that coaches, it's not just the coaching aspect, right? We wear a lot of hats as coaches.
Right.
So it's the planning, the travel plans, and the booking the hotels and figuring out restaurants where we're going to eat, and booking the tournament, the actual schedule, and planning practices, and all these sorts of things that kind of go into the full component of a season. So, anytime I get asked the question of like, oh, what do you do? Like, do you have time off work? And it's like, with the golf schedule being both a fall and a spring sport, there's really never any time off work, because fall finishes, maybe I have a little bit of, a week to decompress, and then I start planning the spring season. And then once the spring season ends, you plan for the fall. So lots of planning, lots of details. I'm a very, that classic like firstborn type A personality. So I like to have everything planned. Yes, I want the players to know kind of what the expectations are. They know what it looks like, especially for those incoming freshmen. There's a lot of questions that get asked, and I want them to feel really comfortable and like they're part of the family right away. So I probably overplan rather than underplan. So that's kind of what it looks like from my point of view. I've done some golf camps as well, which has been awesome in terms of recruiting and just learning from some other coaches. And that's been really awesome. And then the off-season prep in terms of the actual players, they've been playing in lots of summer tournaments, just kind of honing in their skills, working with their swing coaches. So they don't do anything as like a team or with me, but I might go out and watch them play in a tournament, which is always good to see them, or, catch up and go have lunch with them, which is always nice too. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is really nice. And Rachel, every sport is unique. And it seems to me that one of the unique attributes of golf is the summer and the availability, especially here in the Midwest, to get out on the golf course almost as often as a student athlete wants.
Yes.
If they have the capacity. So do you have any expectations of your players?
We do talk about those kind of expectations usually in this preseason.
Yeah.
We do spend some time talking about it, because the reality of the situation is the golfers should be, hypothetically, at their best right now coming into fall. Like, having our championship season in the fall, I actually do very much like it. There's pros and cons for sure if you have it in the fall or the spring. But what I like about it is you've spent many, many months golfing, and you can hone in your skills in a long period of time, rather than in the spring. It's, just a couple months that you're outside. So we have that indoor practice in the winter, and then we go into our spring season, and then they have the summer to work on whatever they want to work on. They have time to work with their swing coaches. They have time to play in tournaments. And then we move back onto campus, and we have that preseason where it's basically eat, sleep, golf,
Yes.
and go into the fall schedule. So that is, I would say that is the expectation. Does it always work that way? No, because I understand that players have jobs and internships and lives, and that totally happens too. But yeah, the nice thing about golf as opposed to other collegiate sports is that these players could go out, they could go play 9 holes on their own.
Yes.
And be able to practice on their own whenever it works for their schedule. They could go at 6 a.m. They could go at 6 p.m. It really kind of just depends on what it looks like for them, which is nice. They don't have to, worry about gym rental or getting a group of people together and their schedules. And yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly unique. Well, so here we are, middle of August, and student athletes are going to be moving back on campus. Give us a preview of the schedule.
Yeah. So we move in on Sunday. I am so excited to see everyone. I got to see a handful of the ladies actually on Monday. They played in the Springbrook Best Ball. So I went out and watched them, which was so good to see them.
Fun.
Yeah, I feel like I've gotten to see a good, at least the gals who are local, I've gotten to see them a handful of times, but it's still,
Good.
It's different than when you're in season and you see them every single day. Like now, if I go 2 weeks, I'm like, where have you been my whole life?
I love that.
So they move in on Sunday and we start right away on Monday. We've got that athletic training and compliance meeting that we'll go through, and then we head to the golf course. And one thing that we're going to do a little different this year that I'm excited about is we're going to break up into small groups and do skill evaluation. So we're going to do putting, chipping, driving, and irons, split them up into groups. We're going to grade them really tough. We're going to put them through some challenges, and then we're going to split them into groups from there. And we're going to spend the rest of the week spending like 30-minute segments on these different skills and kind of run our practices in very small groups with very small targeted goals, which I'm very excited about. I like doing small group practices like this where everyone is practicing together at the same time, but we're doing different things. Like I might have 4 people on the putting green and 4 people chipping and so on and so forth. What I like about that is that anytime we're at a golf course in the area, it's never like the public or the members of the course are coming up and they're like, there's 18 golf bags on the driving range, right? Nobody wants to see that. So
Right.
We stay in those small groups. So I'm really excited about this kind of like skill evaluation and then skill stations that we're going to do. And then from there, we're going to kind of split our time. So we'll practice for part of the day, we'll break and have a meal, and then we'll play for part of the day. So whether we play first, break, practice, or practice, break, play. We'll go through that. And then my plan is next Friday will be our first round of qualifying, and we'll play 18 holes and hopefully play Saturday and Sunday. I like to have a handful of qualifiers that happen, but also a handful of dates booked in case we have any crazy weather, which as of late, we've had quite a bit of crazy weather.
Yes, we have.
Got a plan for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a basement to go to, right?
Yes, no doubt. Yeah, you got to know what the action plan is at every golf course that you're at. Thankfully, they've got the the best technology out at a golf course, because that's like one of the most dangerous places to be. So nobody's taking any chances. So I always feel safe when there is weather coming and we're on the golf course, because I can trust that the golf staff and the technology that they have. I mean, they don't even need somebody to like press a button to let you know the horns have to go out to come inside. It's just like from the weather station. So
yes,
we're in good hands.
We are. You're absolutely right. So Rachel, preview then the competition schedule, including the conference, and then what are your goals and expectations for the squad?
Yeah. So we kick off our season September 4th and 5th. Carthage is hosting an invitational. We are going to do one day is at Ives Grove, which we played there last year, and one day is at Countryside, which my ladies haven't played Countryside, but I brought my men to that tournament like 2 years ago now. So I'm familiar with the golf course, so that will be great. It's kind of close to home, which is nice to start off with something that isn't too far away. And then after that, we travel to Wartburg the following weekend, and we'll be at Wartburg. We played in that tournament last year. It was a phenomenal event. It was really well run and a lot of really great schools for us to play. I'll get sidetracked here, but I always like to tell the team that I like to plan our schedule where we have conference competition. We have competition of like some of the top ranked teams in the nation. Anytime we can see, the best players, we want to see them, right? But then also having some local tournaments too to make it easy. So it's that's how I like to build the schedule.
Yes.
So anyway, we're at Wartburg, and then we come back from Wartburg, and then we've got a one-day invitational. Benedictine's hosting that at St. Andrews. That is, I believe Wednesday. I've got my cheat sheet. Yeah, Wednesday, September 16th. So that's a nice local one, and we've sent out invites. Anyone who's in the area is welcome to come watch us play. I think that's probably one thing that people don't realize about college golf is come out and play. And also, I love to tell families and spectators, like, I want to hear you across the golf course. Like, if I hear you cheering, that means something good is happening, and I want to know about that. So obviously everyone is welcome to all of our events, but that St. Andrews one is going to be nice and close to home. And then we head that weekend to Wesleyan, hosts an event, phenomenal tournament. Again, really well run. That's a fun one because it's play 6, count 4, which is how our conference is set up. But no other tournament is run like that. So it's kind of nice. That is in a way like a conference preview because we get to put 6 out on the field and count 4 scores. And then we have the Whitewater tournament. That's September 27th, 28th. And that one is at TPC, Wisconsin, which is amazing that we get to go to TPC, Wisconsin. Like, that is so cool. We went out at that tournament last year. Probably the toughest golf course that the ladies played, the toughest competition. But in my opinion, that set us up for success going into conference. So we're going to do the same thing this year. We play at TPC, Wisconsin, and then we head to conference. This year it's at Metamora again. And the two things that I noticed that were very similar with the two courses is that there was a lot of tall fescue grass and you had to play target golf. One thing that this women's team does so well that impresses me every year that I've been here, and I have a lot of returners, so I know we'll do it again this year, is our accuracy off the tee. We hit so many fairways. I know I've talked with Nicholas about this the past 2 years. I am so impressed with their game. So anytime that we have to have that target golf and we have issues left or issues right, I know that that's an advantage for us because we hit so many fairways. So we go from TPC, Wisconsin straight into Metamora for conference, and we play our conference championship October 1st through the 3rd. And then we're done, which is crazy.
It goes fast.
It does.
It goes fast.
Yeah.
Well, let's double down on the invitation for fans to come out and support the Cardinals. I think there's a certain set of fans that are used to maybe watching a little golf on TV, and they maybe don't think about how they can translate that fan experience to collegiate golf. So you're right to point that out. So final comment here, Rachel, what are your expectations for the season? Obviously, you're going to get to Metamora in early October. What are you hoping for the Cardinals?
So first year that I came in, which was 2 years ago now, first year we finished 3rd at the conference championship, which was our highest finish since 2016. And then last year, the team finished 2nd, which was our highest finish since 2013. And I really think that we're just kind of building that foundation has been set now, and we're continuing to put those building blocks on it. I think the team can find great success out there. We know Metamora, it's been hosted out there for a handful of years now. So anytime we can go to a golf course and think like, oh yeah, this is a home course. We know this area. We have home field advantage, I think is huge. Expectations, I would say I expect expect the ladies to go in with confidence. I want them to carry themselves really well because they should. They have all the tools in their tool bag. They have all the shots that they need. It's just a matter of going out, having fun, and enjoying our week out there, and maybe building on the success that we've had the first 2 years.
Rachel, I'm grateful for your time. Thank you so much for giving us a few minutes to preview the upcoming women's golf season, and wish you and the Cardinals all the best.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate not only you having me on, but also just allowing me to speak about our awesome women's team, and again, invite people out to come watch them play. They're so great. So any person that we get to come in contact with, I appreciate.
Well, let's. I will count myself in the group to get out, enjoy some fall weather, and catch some very high caliber collegiate golf. Best wishes, Rachel, to you and the team, and as always, go Cardinals. And to our fans, thanks for listening. This is an athletics edition of 1861, the North Central College podcast.